Shut up, Ma. I'm with my friends.
Hi, Mrs.
Hi, Mrs.
Krupowitz.
Krubopowitz.
What are you doing down there that's so important?
Well, you see, to put it simply, Ma, it's time for Talkin' Nerdy, the nerdy talk show where I ask my guests to talk nerdy to me. Oh, my. You are listening to WLMC Landmark College Radio out of Putney, Vermont. And also you're listening to the Frost Raven YouTube channel live stream. And also in the future, you're watching BCTV. Because, of course, as many of you will remember, we're going to be on TV now. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, you are listening to Talking Nerdy, the nerdiest talk show around. I can guarantee it. You know, it's where I ask my lovely guests to talk nerdy to me. But, you know, in a very family-friendly way. Because this is, you know, an all-ages show.
You 100% sure of that?
I am. I'm less and less sure of that every day, in fact, Stephen. Anyway, my absolutely lovely guests tonight are, of course, Stephen Jones.
Hello.
And Stephanie from Hawaii.
Hello.
I mean, I knew she was from Hawaii last week, but, like, I forgot to mention it. But it's really cool. So, like, yeah, really, really cool. Anyway, let's see. What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, the thing I wanted to talk about tonight may not be what you all want to talk about tonight, but I figured I would open it up at the very least to everybody. And my idea, because, you know, there are maybe people out there right now listening, watching, seeing us that aren't really familiar with nerddom, you know? So I was thinking we could go over some of the basics of nerddom with everybody.
No.
I mean, does that sound cool with you guys? Or was there something you guys wanted to talk about specifically?
I mean, there's so many types of nerddom, and like,
yeah,
I'm not even sure if which of the subcultures I belong to.
I could use a refresher.
Well, that's fantastic. We should start. Let's start by, like, defining a nerd. Now, there's, like, tons and tons and tons of definitions for nerds out there, you know? But the way I like to see nerds is are people who are very passionate about their hobbies or interests and things like that. And the way we think about nerds nowadays, specifically, you're looking at, like, the kind of nerds who watch anime, read manga, read comic books, play video games, those kind of nerds. Now, in and of itself, nerd culture is vast, very, very large. I mean, each of those things that I just mentioned are kind of subcultures of themselves within nerds. Now, we're not going to go terribly academic, although I could. And I've literally spent the past 2 years convincing one of my psychology teachers that, in fact, nerddom is a culture and that it fits all of the things. But that's another story for another day. Steven, you should know which professor I'm talking about because we have her together.
Oh, okay. This is the first time I've ever had her.
Oh, yes. She's lovely. Lovely, lovely woman. Anyway, my point is, I think that it is a good thing to talk about, like, the basic, I don't want to say basic nerd, because every nerd is different. And I love it. You know, I love that every nerd is different. But I think going over anime, manga, you know, those two things, those are pretty big. You know, I'm a huge anime and manga nerd. And, of course, a video game nerd, which I know fits you two a little bit better. For sure. As Steven is probably playing Pokemon Go right now.
Hey, I just caught a Pokemon, okay?
Okay, yeah. And Stephanie may be playing on her DS or is actually paying attention. I'm not sure.
I'm paying attention.
Yay! Paying attention. I can't see.
She's the good one. I'm the bad child.
Yes, you are the problem child, aren't you, Stephen? I can't see through my computer monitor, which, no, I'm not Superman with his X-ray vision.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm a huge anime fan, huge manga fan. I mean, I'm currently reading like 30 series or something between animes and between mangas and light novels. Wow, I almost just made a really big nerd faux pas. Oops. Anyway.
You should let me know the nerd faux pas so I don't make any more of them.
I don't know them until I hear them, to be perfectly honest.
What is a faux pas?
Yeah. It's putting your foot in your mouth, you know, biting your tongue, not biting your tongue, but like saying something that isn't necessarily good to say. You know, it's a mistake. It's not what you intended, but you said it anyway.
Slip of the tongue.
Yeah, like calling manga anime, like I just did. Shouldn't do that.
Or calling a teacher mom.
Yeah, that I think that's just more of a mistake. I don't know.
I mean,
it's not. Yeah, I guess that.
It's just awkward.
Yeah, let me look up faux pas.
I mean, an example I could think of is
Faux pas, an embarrassing or tactless act or remark in a social situation.
so like someone calling an American cartoon an anime would be a faux pas.
Yes and no. In this country, yes. Calling, yeah. One of our listeners says, verbally stepping in manure. Very good. Very, very good.
That is an amazing way to word that.
I'm never going to say it any other way now. No, but in the United States, and a lot of the Western world, I should say, and this goes nicely, thank you, Stephen, into my definition of anime. In the United States and a lot of the Western world, at least, anime is specifically Japanese animation. Animation that comes out of Japan, and it follows a pretty similar art style to each other, although they range wildly, of course.
Yeah.
You know, no anime is the same.
Unless it's
done by
from the same artist.
Yeah, then the art styles are pretty similar, but even then. Then in Japan, though, anime is literally a word for animation. It is literally short for the English word animation. So anime is just anything that's animated. So, in a sense, calling cartoons anime in this country, it's going to get you in trouble with a few different types of nerds. Calling anime cartoon anime in Japan, they're just going to look at you like, yeah, that's anime. What of it?
To be fair, there are words in English that do not exist in the Japanese language.
There's a lot of words that don't exist in a lot of other languages because we're special.
I mean, there was that one word we learned in psychology class that I keep on trying to remember and forgetting.
The German word?
Yes.
Yes, he's referring to the German word Schadenfreude, which means taking pleasure in others' misfortune.
Yay.
Yes. I don't know why he's latched onto it, but
I can kind of think of an English word for that.
yeah, but we're not going to say it.
Yeah, we're not going to say it.
So, I'm going to do another quick definition. Manga, I've mentioned that a few times now. Manga is specific pretty much everywhere. It is a specific style of graphic novel. So, you know, when we talk about manga in the United States, it is read from the back cover, quote unquote. What normally in a Western book would be the back cover is actually the front cover, and it is read back to front.
He did air quotes for those of us listening.
Yes, I did air quotes.
Yeah, it's
Back
gotten to the
to
point.
front.
It's gotten to the point where I've stopped thinking back to front.
Yeah, no,
it's just where you
front to back.
start.
It's
just where you start.
I get tripped up by normal books because I read so many more. It's better than the red light novels, which I'll get to in a moment. So basically, manga are done by Japanese authors in a specific style, kind of. There's a few different style of manga, but the most common is just normal manga. So yeah, and the reason it's read from Gesundheit, Stephen. The reason it is read from normally it's read from what I'm going to call the back cover, even though it's the front. If you pick up a manga, the front cover is going to be the front cover, regardless of the way you look at it. If you hold it like a Western book, you'll be looking at the back cover.
You'll know it's the back cover.
Know. And honestly, in pretty much every manga that you pick up nowadays, if you open up the back cover, there's usually a stop sign that says tamare, which means stop, and it'll also say stop underneath. And it'll say you're reading the wrong way. Now the words on the page, because English is always read left to right. The words are still the same. You read the words the same, but in Japanese and Hebrew, as a listener has pointed out, you read right to left. You know, that's just how it is. Although Japanese can be pretty different, where you can read down and to the left. So that's besides the point. Point is, the reason we do manga from the quote unquote back cover, and then going forward, is because that's just how it is in Japan. And to rearrange all of the art would be pointless. So why do that when you could just, put the words on normally? It's fine. Really, really fine. So, that is manga. Light novels are a specific type of novel, I guess. They are, I guess in the United States, they're novels that come out of Japan. So, yeah. But they're honestly basically books. I mean, they read like a Western book because you're translating script. They tend to have the same sort of genres as manga do. Although anime, manga, light novels, the works all fall under the same genres that Western media does too. So action, fantasy, sci-fi, all of that works. It works the same. So, that being said, where I wanted to go with this 10 minutes ago, after I've rambled successfully for 10 minutes.
A lot of tangents.
Oh, yes.
My fault. My fault.
Oh, yeah. You better turn that ringer off there, Stephen.
Darn Pokemon Go.
No, not Pokemon Go. Put it on silent.
I thought it was on silent.
Obviously not, because I heard it go ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Anyway, what I wanted to accomplish with this episode was talk about anime, why I love it, and good places to start if you wanted to start watching anime. Because, honestly, for people out there who are watching on BCTV, people here who are listening to us because they're friends of ours or have heard about the show, they might be like, I'm more of a comic guy, but anime sounds pretty cool. I want to see that. Or, I'm more of a gamer, but you know what? I want to try watching anime. I want to get into a place where everybody can have my recommendations, Stephanie's recommendations, Steven's recommendations on a good anime to start on. Same for manga. I want to be able to say, this is what I recommend to start on for manga because it's a pretty easy one to read or something along those lines. So, that being said, now is the time to talk about why I love anime and why, Stephanie, if you love anime, Steven, if you love anime, why you guys like it too. For me, anime is kind of better TV. The way that it's written is honestly a lot more emotion packing a lot of the time for me. The comedy is funnier sometimes. I think it has to do with the voice acting too. Japanese voice acting is top notch. Like, we have amazing voice actors in the US and the Western world. Japanese voice actors blow them out of the water. Like, the ranges they have, the amount of roles they take on, it's crazy. Absolutely bonkers. And they do such a good job that once you hear a character in Japanese or English, you can't really go the other way without being like, that doesn't sound quite right. As many of you know, I love Fairy Tail. It is my absolute favorite anime of all time. Will be for life, probably, unless something like really blows me out of the water. So I watched it subbed first, because it had more episodes, clearly, and it was just available to me. And it was easier to watch, so I did. When I watched the dub of Fairy Tail, because of course I did, I've seen Fairy Tail in at least the first season in its entirety 4 times. That's 175 episodes 4 times. Y'all can do the math about how much time I've spent watching Fairy Tail. That doesn't even include the second season. So, I watched it, and I was like, so the voice actor, Todd Haberkorn, I don't know, many of you might know him. He was Death the Kid in Soul Eater. He does a lot of really famous roles. He plays Natsu, like the main character of Fairy Tail. And I love Todd Haberkorn as a voice actor. He's phenomenal. But something was a disconnect for me when I was listening, when I was watching Fairy Tail in Japanese. The voice actor for Natsu is phenomenal. Does Natsu perfectly. I can't think of anybody doing it better. Well, it took me like 10 episodes to get used to Todd Haberkorn being Natsu, because it was such a disconnect. I was like, what's going on? It didn't feel right, but then it grew on me. Todd Haberkorn does a really good job as Natsu. But when you're starting out, it's like, okay, bit of a disconnect. But that, that's another thing. I'm getting to dubs and subs in a minute. Because some people will be like, what's a dub? What's a sub? I guess I'll say it now, because that's pretty important, don't you think?
Yeah.
So a dub is when somebody in a language that is not the original voices over what the character is saying. So most of what I watch, if I'm watching a dub, is English dubs. Where a English-speaking person talks for the character which was originally voiced in Japanese. So, when I think about things, it's and a sub, by the way, is subtitles. That's all it's short for. Subtitles are words on the bottom of the screen so you understand what they're saying. So,
All right. Well, so do you want us to start talking about some like good starter animes that we would suggest to people?
Yes, I would love to do that. Stephen, why don't you start?
Well, I started with Full Metal Alchemist.
Ooh, the original or Brotherhood? Clarification here. Full Metal Alchemist is like rated the top anime. Oh, sorry. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is rated the top anime on my anime list, which is a huge thing. It's like a huge community of anime watching nerds. It is the top rated anime. And the manga is like in the top 10.
I mean, I like both. I think, I don't know. I'm probably going to go against the grain and say I like the original one slightly better, but Brotherhood is, it's like 6 one, half dozen the other. They're both great.
Yeah. For me, oh, what? You disagree with that?
I feel like you disagree with that.
I do, because Brotherhood is clearly better.
I feel like the only thing I don't like about Brotherhood is the fact that it feels rushed at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, but it's not though, and I've said this before to you, Stephen. I haven't said it on the show. Brotherhood is literally verbatim for the manga, 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Like it is perfect.
And I know you're right. Remember, dyslexic, I've never actually read a manga.
Right, yes. When you're dyslexic, reading can be very, very difficult. So, that being said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yes, it's word for word. What they did with Full Metal Alchemist, the first series, it was not done. So, but it was hugely popular. Like, still one of the most popular anime to this day. So, and manga, I should say, one of the most popular manga to this day. I'm getting confused. They wanted to make it into an anime. There was not enough content. They had no ending. Hiromu Arakawa was still writing it. She's awesome, by the way. She's the author. So, what they did was slow down the progression of the beginnings, added a few things, stretched it out, made it so that, it could last a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Then they made up the ending. So,
Yeah.
And by made it up, I mean they said, hey, Mrs. Arakawa, can you, give us something to go off of? And she's like, yeah. She wrote just something and gave it to them. And that's where you get the ending of the original Full Metal Alchemist anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, they did after the manga finished. So, there was a proper ending.
Yay.
So
Closure.
Yeah, pretty much closure. So they have a finished ending, and they turn it into an anime, and it is still the most popular anime to this day on my anime list. I'm fairly certain. I'm going to look this up, but yes.
So, do you want to hear some more I'm interested in?
Yes, please do, Steve.
Fairy Tail, of course, is on the list.
Yes.
If I want to deal with the feels, Wolf's Rain, but I only watch that one if I am mentally prepared to cry.
Right. Well,
And
how about one that you would watch, that you would say, hey, you've never watched anime before? How about
Sword Art Online?
Sword Art Online. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I heard that it starts getting kind of not as good.
It's
I heard that the main character gets too OP.
the main character is what we like to call a Mary Sue. The main character cannot fail, cannot do bad. Yeah, they mess up, but it works out in the end. They basically have life handed to them. You know how Superman never loses?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, I also have another issue with Sword Art Online, which I won't get into. But Sword Art Online it gives you a taste of what anime is all about. But, and a lot of people fall in love with it. So I'm making a lot of people who are nerds very angry right now, I'm sure. But I think Sword Art Online is overrated.
It is kind of mainstream. I haven't watched it, so
Mainstream
my
doesn't mean
opinion.
bad, though.
Yeah, so my opinion is invalid because I haven't watched it. I've just heard things about it.
I mean,
It's okay. It is good. You know, it is interesting psychologically to look at. But that's taking it farther than I'm sure the author intended.
well, how many things are taken farther than the author intended?
Too many.
Pretty much everything.
Like-
They say there's a saying in nerddom: love the show, manga, love the character, love whatever, hate the fandom.
Why does I'm gonna slaughter the pronouncement, but
Or in High School Host Club.
that's the first one that pops in my head.
That was the one I was going to recommend.
Or in High School Host Club is something that everybody should watch, whether or not they like anime or not. It is phenomenal. It is over the top. It is like the extremes of what anime is. It's got all the comedy, all the extreme. It is a riot, and it is so worth watching. And yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that recommendation. However, the fandom is toxic and should not be talked about.
I like to think of the fandom and the show as like separate things.
They are. That's what That's what I was getting at. Love the show, hate the fandom.
I mean, I first learned of it one Yuri on Ice because of the fandom and thought, I'll never watch it. Then I watched it and ignored the fandom, and I actually enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Yuri on Ice is a great example of why you ignore the fandom. The fandom is toxic as all get out. They say awful things. They ignore the point, to the point where the author even commented on some of the things the fandom talks about. I'm not going to get into it. It's a little bit not family friendly when you get down to it. So that being said, the anime itself is phenomenal. It's really well written, a really good love story, a really good, compelling story behind it. So it's worth watching. The fandom, however, is worth ignoring.
Yeah.
So please do. What I would recommend for a starter anime? There are a few that I've been thinking, and I've been thinking about this for a couple days now, actually. And I'm thinking, things that aren't huge and long, like Fairy Tail or Naruto or Bleach or One Piece.
I feel like Fruits Basket is good.
Fruits Basket is good.
I've
Fruits
never
Basket-
seen that one.
Fruits Basket also just kind of ends. So I was thinking of things that have a, good solid story and end and have a good solid ending that you can feel good about.
I think that disqualifies Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop should be watched anyway because it gives you a taste of what anime can be.
Or what is the one? I'm forgetting the name of it, but I remember like the main character, something Stampede Flash.
Huh?
I would have to contact the person that got me to watch that one.
Oh,
Okay.
there was this one, Bleach. It just went on forever.
Right. Bleach, Naruto, Fairy Tail, they are a very long series. One Piece is still going on. It's like 800 something episodes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
One of the reasons I haven't seen Naruto is because I felt like I was so far behind.
So with Naruto and Bleach and stuff, just read the manga. Straight up, I'm telling you right now. The anime, and they're just so full of filler. And by the way, filler is stuff that isn't part of the story, but they put in there so that the story can go ahead. So, yeah, just ignore. Yeah. Trigun's another one that one of our listeners has recommended. Trigun is also a good one. And is Vash the Stampede something you're looking for?
I think that was Trigun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Trigun.
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to connect to the dots. So I was thinking something that I think it's yes, and I believe yes, that is what Stephen was thinking of. Thank you for pointing it out. Back to my train of thought, which ADD makes it so fun to keep on track, doesn't it, guys?
Wait, what? Where am I? I forgot.
Oh well, you're in this basement and we're talking with nerds. And it's good. It's talking nerdy time.
And you're catching a Meowth.
I hope you can see this on camera. I don't think you can. But this guy, the reason he can't keep his stuff, like, he's not paying attention.
Hey, I'm so nerdy. I'm playing a nerd game while talking nerdy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway, It's a rather recent show. I think it was in the past couple of years. The one I'm going to recommend. It's good. It's not too dramatic, not too actiony. It's got a good bit of comedy, and it gives you kind of the idea of what a basic sort of anime could be. And it's called Sakura Quest. I'm not sure if either of you watched it.
Nope.
Despite the name Quest, it's not actually like a fantasy or anything like that. Rather, what it is, it's about a girl, Yoshino, who goes and takes a job, which she thinks is going to be a day job, as like an actress somewhere. Turns out she signed up for a year as being part of the tourism board for a small town out in the country in Japan. And so her mission is to help revitalize this old town which doesn't have any visitors anymore, and get it back on its feet.
So far, it sounds like Cars.
Yes, but Cars is garbage compared to Sakura Quest.
Okay.
Cars was an okay film, but like Sakura Quest, I actually really, really loved. The openings are great, which the opening is like the title sequence where they play music and stuff like that. The voice acting was great. The animation quality is great. It's just pretty laid back. It doesn't get you. There's some drama in there. There's some comedy. Good amount of storyline that progresses, and it makes you feel good at the end. Like you kind of wish there was more, but you understand. Like, no, there's not going to be more, and I'm okay with that because it ends solidly enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I recommend it as an anime to start with. It's one of those that you can start with it and it's pretty easy. It doesn't stray too far from like what an American TV show might do. It's more concise. It's better quality, but it's got its stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where I was going with it. I mean, of course, I will recommend Fairy Tail to anybody, and if you really want a long series to sink your teeth into with anime, Fairy Tail's the way to go. I mean, Hiro Mashima, who's the author of Fairy Tail, writes an amazing story. Like, he knows how to write and do a really good job on it.
What about it?
So,
I don't know why, but this conversation made me remember an anime I got halfway through, have been meaning to go back to, and keep on forgetting.
Oh, which one?
One called Princess Tutu.
Princess Tutu, I heard of it. I've actually never seen it.
It's good, but it's something I don't like watching anime alone.
But it's something that you don't want to watch with people either.
Yes. No, it's like I'm actually looking at the Wikipedia for it right now, and it's a ballad inspired by a combination of The Ugly Duckling and Swan Lake.
Well, okay.
I don't think it's a good.
What genre is it?
I'll let you look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why it popped in my head. Attention deficit disorder.
That reminded me of another show, which is also a good one. Is Squid Girl.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Squid Girl
I've not.
is adorable. It is funny, and it should be watched. Just do it.
It's a shonen.
Watch Squid Girl. It's got 2 seasons. They're great.
Shonen.
They're fantastic. I highly recommend them. So please, if you're listening and you're like, anime, this sounds pretty cool, I want to give it a shot, do it. Just do it right now. There's a bunch of places you can watch anime too. My question is, where do you guys watch your anime? Now, I mean, I can speak for myself and my wife. We have a Crunchyroll account.
Mm-hmm.
So Crunchyroll is kind of like Netflix, but purely anime. And it is freaking awesome. They also have manga and stuff. And the biggest advantage to Crunchyroll is you can watch shows that come out in Japan at the same time as they come out in Japan, but in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called simulcasting. So on the day that the 11th episode of Overlord 3 comes out in Japan, at the same time it pops up on Crunchyroll's website.
Well, I use
for premium members, who are the people who pay. You can watch for free on Crunchyroll with some ads. So if that's something that you're up for, definitely watch there.
I use Kiss Anime.
Kiss Anime. I don't think I've ever used Kiss Anime.
I mean, I'll let you go.
How's the quality on it?
It's pretty good. I used to use it because it would load, like it would all load, and I would be able to watch it in the car with no internet.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. YouTube occasionally has some episodes of anime on it,
Yeah, but
I would avoid it. There's plenty of great places to watch.
I've discovered that if you don't go to a reputable site, you don't want to know how long IT department will be debugging your computer. I've mainly stick to Netflix because I'm scared of another virus outbreak if I go to the wrong
To be fair,
ones.
Netflix does have some anime on it. Hulu does as well. However, they're not as expansive of collections as Crunchyroll, of course. And then there are websites you can go to on the internet that have, like, everything. I know of one called Otaku Streamers. I haven't been there in a while, so I'm not sure if they're still, operating and how up to date they are on their stuff. But when I was watching stuff without Crunchyroll, like, I would go there and they have, like, everything. Anime movies, anime shows, OVAs, things like that. There's also Go Anime, which I've gone to a couple times.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's okay. So you can do a quick Google search and find some highly recommended anime that are there, anime watching sites.
Or buy DVDs.
Yeah. So yes, please buy the DVDs if you really enjoy a show. It helps them, have money to license new shows to put out for us. So it's always a good idea to buy stuff if you love it. Like, I buy all the Fairy Tail DVDs as they come out. It's just something I do. But if we don't buy things, they're not going to make it anymore. And if they don't make it anymore, then where are we now?
Then Alex would be sad.
Yeah, then pretty much. Well, a lot of people will be sad.
Yeah.
But so it's important to watch things. It can be a bit expensive. It can be pretty pricey, but it's worth it if you really love a show.
Yeah.
That being said, the other way you can also do Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll, I believe, operates on the principle where your subscription money, a certain percentage goes to the company that owns Crunchyroll. I can't remember the name of it. Elation. Elation's the name of the company. But certain percentage goes to Crunchyroll. Then the rest of it is split. So if you watch, 20 episodes of Fairy Tail, 3 episodes of Ouran High School, and 1 episode of Naruto, for instance, the rest of that money is split percentage-wise between the studios who own those anime. So, say your Studio A gets, 50% of it or more because you watched 50% of your anime from them. Studio B gets, 13%, the other one gets 7%, and so on and so forth, breaking down. So if you only watch one show, that studio gets a big cut. If you watch a bunch of different shows, a bunch of studios get a smaller cut. So it gives an incentive to studios to get their anime on there, because even if you watch a couple episodes, they're getting a bit. So it's a really good deal for Crunchyroll and for the studios who license their stuff to Crunchyroll. So it also makes Crunchyroll able to have a huge variety of available anime for people to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
some of our
I'll ask any anime that you would recommend new people to anime steer clear of.
Steer clear of. Oh boy, do I.
I don't think you should stay clear of Bleach.
No, Bleach isn't one of those. I mean,
But it
One
gets
Piece-
to a point where it's like,
yeah. Not One Piece either. One Piece is a phenomenal show, but it's the same thing with Bleach. There's so many episodes.
well, also
it's
the character in Bleach gets like every power.
Right, he gets that sort of power creep over the top Mary Sunis.
Yeah.
Right. So, as for things to steer clear of, anything that has a really bad rating on My Anime List. So, a huge resource that I use a lot of the time is called My Anime List. MyAnimeList.net, for those of you who are wondering. If you go there, you can look up pretty much any show under the sun that's ever had an anime, or that is an anime, I should say, and it uses ratings from viewers from around the world watching this stuff and comes up with a score. So, like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has a 9.25. That means, on average, people are rating things either a 9 or a 10 for Brotherhood. That's insane. Beyond insane. That means, of the people who've watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, 9.25%, 92% of them have said it's, like, the best thing ever. Think about it that way. But then you get shows that have, like, a 5. Some people love them, some people hate them, but it's very, very polarized. So, and actually, for getting into anime, I would avoid pretty much anything that is heavy on the fan service.
Yeah.
Fan service is where certain things are very
Exaggerated,
much elaborated and shown for showing's sake. I will let you extrapolate that as you will. It is usually targeted on female underwear a lot of the time. So it can be done tastefully, but it is very rare if it is done so.
Yeah.
You're most likely going to get very untasteful, over the top,
fan service.
Yeah, pretty much. So stay away from things that are fan service to be fan service. High School DxD, To Love Ru, things like that. Just stay away from them. It's a special kind of person and a certain niche that likes that kind of show. That's kind of where I sit with that. Anything you guys would recommend not watch or not jumping into right away if you're not, huge on anime or haven't seen one before? Anything you guys have seen that are like, yeah, no.
I don't know. I will. For me, I tend to avoid animes that are just subtitles. I just can't keep up. But I tend to try finding good start.
Well, based on my experience,
Yep.
if your friend comes up to you and says, "Oh, you have to watch this anime. It's like super weird," and then you go to watch it and like, "No, don't watch it at school." You probably shouldn't watch it.
Oh, I think
Just from experience, don't watch it.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
You didn't watch it, did you?
No.
Okay, don't watch it.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this just because it was pointed out to me. I was avoiding this, but for the record, don't watch anything that has the genre hentai.
Oh.
I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm not gonna say it again. No good. Just not family friendly. We're not talking about it any further, but leave it at that.
Yeah, your license plate says love anime.
Yes, it does. My license plate does in fact say love anime because I do in fact love anime very deeply. I think I said this last week, but I literally am married because of anime.
Yeah.
Yep. Because of actually the music that comes in anime. The other thing that just totally reminded me of is that the music in anime is phenomenal.
It is.
The production value of your average anime puts your average sitcom to shame.
What?
You all right there, Steven?
Sorry, I have a friend that's listening to the show that sent me a Facebook message.
Oh, good. What did they say?
Regret nothing.
Okay.
This was the person that got me into anime.
I see. Yes. Well, anyway, the music, the voice acting, everything about anime is so top-notch. It's just... It is something that once you start watching, even if you're a casual watcher, it's worth keeping up with. If you're like looking to see what's coming out in the next season, things like that, there's a website called anachart.net, I believe. And it shows what's coming up in the next season, sometimes 2 seasons ahead, depending on when it was announced. You can also go to animenewsnetwork.com. They usually have all kinds of anime and nerd-related news. good place to check in on stuff like that too. So, those are some resources for people who are like getting into anime for the first time, hearing us talk about it and go, yeah, that's cool. I like that. So yeah, for those of you, you can always tweet at me at DJFrostWLMC. Ask me for suggestions. You can tell me what kind of things you like. Like, oh, I really love, good fighting anime that's, medieval type and, has swords and magic, stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you need to watch Log Horizon. You can say, I love romance animes and, or romance shows and I love a good love story. And I'll be like, dude, I got you. I've got like a list. I do. I really do have a list. A lot of them are not well known, or they weren't necessarily well known. They're not like super mainstream, but I really enjoyed them. So, things like that. I am a wealth of knowledge. Also, the famed DJ Orange, who used to be a constant guest on this show, who is since graduated and moved on to bigger and better things, is a wealth of anime knowledge. So if I don't even know something, I know he does. So if you message me and I don't know, you bet I'm going to ask him and he's going to get me an answer.
And also, if you go onto like an anime watching site, there's usually filters that you can put in.
Yes, there are definitely filters. Like, I'm in the mood for a comedy. Click. And on my anime list too, if you're looking for like comedy and you want high rated ones, do it. The one thing I will say though with my anime list, it is rated by other people. So like some of the shows that I love to death have, 6s, 7s on my anime list. Everybody's preferences are different. Mm-hmm. I read the reviews on anime to see why people didn't like something or why they did like something, and I kind of judge based on that rather than just the raw score. That usually gets you a better idea, but honestly, the only way to really know if you're going to like something is watch the first episode. It takes 20 minutes out of your time to watch the first episode of an anime. And you know what? Sometimes you find hidden gems.
And sometimes it takes 2 or 3 episodes to figure out, oh, this is actually pretty good.
Right. Sometimes they're slow burner anime, and unless you stick through them sometimes, you're never going to know. It's unfortunate when things slow burn sometimes, but sometimes it's really intentional for what will be the ending.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention anything because that would be spoilers, and, we try to avoid spoilers here on Talking Nerdy.
I thought it was a 5-year thing.
Yeah, but in general, I do try to avoid spoilers because I want people to experience it for themselves. Like, I will talk up and down about, certain parts of the story or certain characters, things like that. But as a rule, I don't want to spoil a show or a book for somebody because then they don't get the excitement of it. There's something special about reading or watching something, hitting that plot twist and being like, oh my God, I guessed it, or dude, I had no idea that was coming.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of sit on the spoiler thing. I personally avoid spoilers at all costs. Some friends of mine who own an anime shop in Rochester, New York, they have a strict no spoiler policy in their store.
That's a good policy.
It's a very good policy. Like, doesn't matter how old, no spoilers.
I mean, I think the one person that I watch like some stuff with, I'll ask them like questions and they'll like completely mislead me, so I'm actually not. So they're not actually spoiling it, but it keeps me like thinking, oh, and then it's like, oh wait, this is actually better than what I thought was going to happen.
Right. Something that I have to talk about before we end this anime conversation. Something that, like, if you want the true anime experience, like all of the WTFs and comedy that you can get, the extremes of anime, like all of the extraness, it's what I like to call it, watch Nichijou. It is... There's really no good way to describe Nichijou other than over-the-top extra.
Okay, I've never seen this one.
You would enjoy it. Nichijou is fantastic. Well then, looks like we've got a surprise guest. What is up, Vikas?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
I don't think they can hear you so good, but yeah, go ahead, jump on there, Vikas, my man.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I just want to say hi. My name is Vikas, DJ Vik. catch me on Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on WLMC, of course.
LMC.
But yeah, we were talking about anime, dude.
Anime is awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about stuff that you would recommend, like, to a new person who's never seen an anime before.
A lot of good shows. If you're looking for some new stuff, definitely Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill is something that is really special.
Yeah.
I would say wait until you've watched a few anime for that one, just because it can get a little over the top.
And it gets a little boring at times. There's a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah, actually it was straight to anime, so it wasn't really filler.
Oh no, like the actual episodes themselves.
Yeah, there was a little bit of padding, I would say.
Padding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else would you recommend?
Inuyasha for sure.
Inuyasha is a classic.
Yes,
If you want to watch a classic anime, watch Inuyasha. It's
one of my favorites.
It is really good. Yep. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
If you're going for something classic, just like anyone and everyone talks about it, besides the Dragon Ball series, of course.
Yeah.
Naruto.
Yep, we were talking about
There are
that.
a couple of pretty good episodes and a couple of pretty good seasons.
Yeah, I mean, there are guides online for Naruto, like what to skip if you want to just keep to the story that was intended. So you can do that too. Yeah, anything you would think to avoid.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, awesome. You're welcome to stick around, Veek, if you want.
I'm headed on out pretty soon.
All right.
Stopped in and say hi. Talk to the guests. Have a good time.
Oh, of
I hope
course.
everyone enjoys. All right. See you later, guys.
Catch you
See you
later.
later.
Veek.
Bye-bye.
Catch you later, my dude. Anyway, always nice when Veek stops for a quick visit.
Oh gosh, what?
Yep.
Someone just mentioned an anime Inuyasha. I don't know.
Inuyasha.
That's one I had. That someone tried to introduce me to that one, like in the middle of it, and it just didn't work. There-
Really? You couldn't get into Inuyasha?
It was like in the
In the
very
middle of it?
like they just plopped me down in some random.
Okay. If somebody says, I'm gonna have you watch an anime, I'm gonna watch you an anime, bringing this into meme territory, and plops you down and they just put on, you ask them, what episode is this? And they say episode 7, 8, 13, 14.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Say, nuh-uh, you're gonna start me from the beginning, or I'm gonna have to sass you. Just like that.
Yeah, start from the beginning because, well, otherwise
There's a
you'll.
reason there's a beginning. Straight up, there's a good reason there's the beginning.
I mean, so what would you like? Something I was wondering, like, if someone's trying to start out, they don't have much time, and they just want to do their first anime. Some good ones that you would say are a short series, not many episodes,
Right.
because time
well,
crunch could be a
Kind
thing.
of. Sakura Quest, the one I recommended, is 25 episodes or 26 episodes. I can't remember. And that's something that's really interesting about anime seasons. Anime seasons used to be you got signed on for episodes until you're done. You know, nowadays they do it a little differently. You're usually signed on for 12, 13 episodes. I'd say 10 to 13 is a good range. If your show does really well, you're signed on for more. A second season, if you will. If your show doesn't do so well, they've only invested 13 episodes time into you. If your show is really good and really impresses them, they might sign you on for a full season of 26 episodes. If they really like the show, you're going to get 52. You know, stuff like that. And if it's really, really popular and really, really good, well, you might get even more than that. It is really rare nowadays to get those, really long series like Fairy Tail, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece.
Well, I feel like if you're really short on time and you want to get into anime, the Studio Ghibli movies are pretty good.
Studio Ghibli is like,
Spirited Away.
yeah, no, I mean, it's like, kind of like the Disney of anime,
Yeah.
just less problematic. Studio Ghibli is amazing. Anything that was directed by Hayao Miyazaki, they are artsy, they are great. They're like only the length of a feature film, so like hour and a half, 2 hours.
I would start with Spirited Away. 'Cause
Spirited
that's
Away
like
is so good.
That's like the one everyone goes
Or
to.
Totoro. My Neighbor
Totoro is also good.
So good.
It can be a little slow at some points.
It can, but that's just
it's
the kind of style
it's
of it.
really sweet.
Howl's Moving Castle's great. Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
All of these Studio Ghibli classics are phenomenal watches. Like,
And also the newer ones, like The Wind Rises. It's a little confusing. I feel like it's one of those ones where you have to go back and watch it again because it does a lot of
right,
time skips.
right.
But the story is really beautiful.
Ooh. Films that are really, really good. Your Name. It's not a Studio Ghibli or Miyazaki film, but Your Name made waves because it was so good. It is a long film though. It's like 2.5, 3 hours, I think.
Wow.
And it's a little complicated. It's a bit psychological. It really gets you thinking, but it is so good.
Yeah, I've never actually seen any Studio Ghibli movies.
My word, Steven, you have to get on that, my
My
friend.
heart.
My
My heart.
Yeah,
It hurts, right?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
my friend that I'm talking to on Facebook because she's listening to the show told me she's going to fix that next time I visit her.
Yes, please fix that,
Honey, I'm
Steven's
gonna fix
friend.
it before he even leaves this room. Well, not before he leaves. Not really. I'm going to fix it by the end of the night. I'm going to sit him down in front of the TV and make him do a watch
Yeah.
of the Studio Ghibli. I'm thinking Totoro.
I think you'd like that one.
I think he would like Totoro. Totoro's cute.
Yeah.
It has a good message.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing about Studio Ghibli. They're meant for children, so they
Well, not all.
everybody.
Some of them are for like Princess Mononoke. I wouldn't say is for like children.
Mononoke?
Yeah.
Maybe, but they're enjoyable by all ages. That's what makes Studio Ghibli amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
I mean, when we get, I'm going to admit this because
Yeah.
it will tell you how uninformed I was where I grew up.
Right.
I didn't know like there were actually some of the cartoons I would watch Saturday morning. I didn't realize some of them would actually be classified as anime.
Right.
Should we talk about a couple of those?
Like
Right.
Pokemon.
So, yeah.
Pokemon.
Who here in the room, raise your hands, watch the Pokemon
you didn't
show.
ask the question yet.
Yeah.
I knew what he was going to ask.
Yeah. Who watched Pokemon when they were growing up? I did. I looked forward to
My
it.
mom didn't want me to watch it because I was 9, and she said that you had to be 10 to watch it. But I watched it anyway.
You didn't. Pokemon was literally all ages, and it still is.
And of course,
Obvious dubbing issues aside.
Yeah, I went back and I watched like some of the first episodes, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh.
They're still classic. Pokemon is an anime. This is going to blow some people's minds.
whoa.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon is an anime.
Who knew?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an anime.
Oh my gosh.
Beyblade is technically an anime.
I don't
but
know what that
It
is.
shouldn't be.
I stopped
worry
paying
about it.
attention to like that kind of stuff after Bakugan.
Yeah, Bakugan is an anime. But don't worry about it because it's
Nah.
terrible.
Well, don't make fun of I just hope people won't make fun of those of us who actually still have Yu-Gi-Oh decks.
No.
Oh, I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
have-
The card game.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The card game is awesome.
Yes. Getting over into another type of nerddom.
Yeah. Anyway, somebody just asked a phenomenal question, which is going to segue perfectly into the second half of the show, which I totally forgot about until just now. So, if a certain works has a manga and an anime adaptation, which one do you prefer? I know, Steven, this might not apply to you because you don't do a lot of the reading.
Sad face.
Yeah. So, which do you prefer? My honest answer is it really depends.
Yeah.
If the anime ends something where there is no ending in the manga, as of the date, I tend to go to the manga and read it and enjoy it because there's more to the story. When there's something to add to the work by having it be an anime, I much prefer that. One Punch Man is a perfect example. One Punch Man, with the animation added to One Punch Man, it makes it goes on, it adds something to it. Because it's hard to really animate how crazy One Punch Man is. So I liked the anime slightly more than I liked the manga, but I also really enjoy the manga because it's continued way past where the anime ended. I think it's getting a second season, though, so I shouldn't speak too soon. But in other cases, I think they do a garbage job with the anime, and I love the manga more. And I think the manga is something. If I haven't seen an anime or there is no anime for a manga, I can come up with the characters' voices in my head. I can, really visualize, and it really gets me. And it really makes me appreciate it, especially if it's really well written. If there is if there is one, I will often read the voices of the characters if I've seen the anime in the voice actor's voice. So
Yeah.
there's a so to answer the question, honestly, it depends. For instance, there's going to be a show called Goblin Slayer, an anime called Goblin Slayer coming out. I read the light novels. The light novels are dark. They are very dark. Like, definitely not good for children. Like, definitely not good for young teens. Like, this is a mature thing. The anime is going to be really tough. The anime is going to be just as dark, and if they don't do it right, untastefully so. So, that being said, I will still watch it because I really enjoy the series. But I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it, as a rule, I guess this is a testament. I'm reading 30 different anime and manga series. Light novel and manga series. My word, I did it again. I did it again.
It's late.
It is not that late for me, which is sad. So, in general, I read more manga and light novels than I watch anime.
Well,
so, I guess in that regard, I do like manga and light novels more.
In the chat, Embermoto said something about sometimes the anime and the manga can be extremely different.
They really can
I see
be,
the
depending on how the studio decides to spin it. Decides to put a different feel on it. Even the dubs to the subs can be a bit different.
I mean, I think is it Sailor Moon has some interesting things done because of censors.
That goes back to 4Kids Entertainment and the I can't say the word I'm thinking of, but it's the one that fits perfectly. If I were to say cluster, I think everybody who would get it would get it. It is a cluster. Cluster poop. It's a cluster poop. 4Kids Entertainment basically was responsible for the first episodes of Pokemon.
Oh, wait,
and
4Kids?
One Piece.
Is that what we're
and
talking
Sailor
about?
Moon. Yeah, they're the ones who screwed them up.
Yeah, there's not much we can say on this show about 4Kids.
Let me talk about how they turned onigiri, which is the rice balls, which many of you will know what they are. For those of you who don't know, they are rice with a little bit of seaweed on them.
It's a
and
musubi.
they've got stuffed inside, usually with some sort of filling. Well, 4Kids translates those as jelly donuts. You know what they aren't? Jelly donuts.
I prefer musubis than jelly donuts.
But basically, people holding up rice balls and saying, "Man, this jelly donut is delicious." It doesn't really work.
Oh yeah, so
That's 4Kids for you. So yes, they did some really stupid things with censorship that really
That don't make
Can
sense.
I
it doesn't make sense.
Can I mention the one from I think it's Sailor Moon,
What?
the turning a lesbian couple into
Oh,
cousins?
they were cousins.
Oh my
That's
word.
so weird. I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's awful. Like,
Yeah,
why did they
which
think that was better?
It's no, it doesn't make it better, does it?
No,
Who would think that is better?
that's to me honestly sounds like it would make it worse.
Yeah. I think to a lot of people it would make it worse.
Yeah.
But I think a good comic or a good manga,
Yeah.
it's not from Japan, but it's in that style.
So it's a graphic novel, an Americanized in the manga style graphic novel.
Yeah, it's called Nemu Nemu.
Interesting. What's it about?
It's about these two girls who go to this store and buy these two puppy toys
Yeah.
that come to life, and their names are Nemu and Anpan,
Huh.
and it's really cute.
That sounds super adorable.
It is, and there is this one scene where Anpa needs to have a bath,
Yeah.
which is the washing machine,
Oh my word, no.
which Nemu loves it, and Anpan's like, no. Yeah, it's just really cute and funny.
That sounds really, really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a signed copy from the author because the author was a graduate of my first school. So she came and
That's super cool.
gave out. Well, she sold like books and the stuffed animals.
And then sign the books if you bought them.
Yeah, but I lost it.
Oh no.
And I know it's somewhere in my house,
Oh wow.
and that's as far as I've gotten to looking for it.
Yep. Yep.
But if I find it, I will definitely show Alex and Steven.
That's really cool. I look forward to seeing that if you find it. Yeah, one of people watching mentioned Pop Team Epic. We can't talk about Pop Team Epic.
I don't know what that is.
It is, oh my, you know Robot Chicken?
Oh no.
It's the anime version of Robot Chicken. And it's better.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
watched Robot Chicken and kind of went,
Wow. Just wow, right?
yeah, words I can't use on the radio, sir.
Pretty much.
I went so long without knowing what Robot Chicken was about, and then I watched it, and then I was like,
Wow.
I miss my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, it does give you the nostalgia factor for sure. But yes. Yes.
Although a lot of 90s shows were kind of dark anyway.
They were, but that's another conversation for another day. So, moving on to the second half of the episode, because we've kind of been like dawdling on the line there just a little bit.
I still don't know what the second half of the episode is.
We're going to
mean-
talk about manga. And a good way to jump
Oh.
into manga. Like you were talking about Nemu Nemu. That sounds super adorable.
It is. It's so adorable.
It's like kind of that good cross between a picture book and a graphic manga novel. Or not graphic manga, a graphic novel / manga. If you are a fan of comics or graphic novels in general, like the things that you would buy in the store here more commonly, manga is pretty much right up your alley. It follows under all the same genres as normal books do. Or I say normal books, but to me, manga are the normal books. It's crazy, right? So like there's sci-fi, fantasy, action, love, romance, comedy. Huge spectrum of it. If there's a genre for it, it exists, including some of their own different genres that you don't really find in American literature, so to speak.
Yeah.
So if you love, let's say, cute, adorable things,
Nemu Nemu.
Nemu Nemu, just cute, easygoing, a good read would be Flying Witch. It's just kind of an easygoing series. It's what I like to call a palate cleanser series. Like you read something really dark, like
Black
Goblin
Butler.
Slayer or Grimgar Fantasy and Ash.
Black Butler.
Black Butler. Read Flying Witch, you'll feel all better about yourself. You'll feel good. It's just great. You're like, I'm refreshed. And that makes it a really good starting manga because not much drama, not too much heavy plot, just good story, things happen. Another one that I absolutely love to death, which is a phenomenal anime too, is called New Game. New Game is about a company where they make games. They make video games. And it's all women who are in this company. And that's for various reasons, which never really come up, but it kind of does later on. And it's just super cute. Nothing super dramatic happens. It's, a bunch of friends making games together. It's basically what it boils down to. And I love it. It's so cute. Other great manga that I read, Fairy Tail. Of course, I read the manga for Fairy Tail. I mean, why wouldn't I have?
I feel like you would. Like I didn't.
I have every single volume of Fairy Tail plus all the spin-offs they've released in English on a shelf. All together, neatly, piled up, right there, good to go.
How
Yep. Card Captor Sakura is another one. Super cute. Super cute. Super easy to get into as well. So another good one to start with if you're into like the magical girl thing. Card Captor Sakura. There's a second series of it called Card Captor Sakura Clear Card. That's ongoing at the moment. And I think that's from Clamp, actually. Clamp is a huge group a really famous group. They're also famous for Chobits. Chobits is a really good series.
Well, this is also one of the things that I really like about manga and anime. They can tackle like really adult themes
Really cute.
and really cute, childish themes in the same like form of media.
It's almost like they're trying to emulate real life. But wait, it's really good because real life isn't simple.
Because I guess when it's changing, but it used to be a lot of Americans would think like, oh, all cartoons, and they would think like anime is cartoons are for children. And then you look at like Attack on Titan, Black Butler.
When somebody says, "Oh, anime is just for children," I'm like, "Go ahead and watch the first episode of Attack on Titan." I'll wait.
Yeah.
Not for kids.
Is that you're waiting with your twiddling your thumbs like, are you?
Yep. No, I'll wait. It's the kind of I'll sit here patiently waiting, and they go, "Oh my god!"
If they watch Food Wars.
Food Wars. I will defend Food Wars. Food Wars is phenomenal.
No, Food Wars is good. It's just not something you should watch in
That
school.
goes with the fan service that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably don't start with Food Wars.
If you really like cooking, though, Food Wars is a good thing to start with. You get a little bit of the fan servicey stuff, but it's not that big.
Is it just me that thinks that all animated food looks better than any real food?
Oh my god, right?
Like animated popcorn?
It looks like godliness.
Yeah.
Now I want popcorn. Thank you.
Well, it's not
You're
going to be.
welcome.
It's not going to be as good as anime popcorn.
You know, it was. Yeah, we always end up food here on Talking Nerdy.
I mean, maybe
Always
because
talking about
food is the best thing.
maybe we
next
should
to
have
anime.
a food, we should have a food special.
We could have a food special.
Oh, I could make spam with
But wait,
seeds.
every episode's a food special here. But anyway,
Even episodes I'm not here.
yes, every single week, Stephen, food comes up in one form or another.
Maybe it's just Alex.
It might just be me.
I mean, what were you talking about making later?
Oh, I'm going to be making Japanese curry tomorrow.
What is Japanese curry?
It's deliciousness.
Well, what's in it?
Curry. I don't know the exact spice mix myself. I have to do research on that because I'd like to try making it on my own. But it is a brown curry, and it can be mild or spicy, and it's usually prepared with a few root vegetables and served over rice.
To be perfectly honest, as hard as we've had to search for the curry mix that you use, it might be easier just to make it ourselves at this point.
No, it isn't because it's really expensive to get the dry curry leaves. So yeah.
So yeah, Food Wars.
But anyway, Food Wars. If you love cooking, Food Wars, the actual manga has recipes in it for what they are cooking in the manga, and it's fantastic. And you learn about all kinds of techniques for cooking. The storyline is really compelling and great. The most recent volume had me going, "Oh my word! I can't wait for the next one."
So, should we be getting one of these recipes to try to cook at some point?
They are
Oh.
they are more than I'm willing to trust on our electric stove.
We are gonna set something on fire.
We are totally going to set something on fire if we try.
Something that is not supposed to be on fire,
Yes.
like ourselves.
Like Steven.
There was that one time with a propane stove. That
You
blew up
left
in
the
my-
oven on. I'm going to keep bringing this up until you don't leave the oven on anymore.
I only did that once.
Fair, but it only takes once, Steven.
Well, has it happened since?
No, but we haven't used the oven yet.
I can't.
That's a fair point.
When was the last time I used the oven?
Last semester.
Wait, last semester you left the oven on?
Yes! I wasn't kidding. He really did this. But anyway, that aside, he really did leave the oven on.
We'll cook something that doesn't involve fire.
That's good.
But fire.
Yes, I know, Stephen. But anyway, back to the realm of manga. Basically. For a series that is a good, doesn't go on forever, is got a lot of comedy, got a lot of good romance aspects, has a bit of drama. It's got a little bit of everything. I highly recommend reading My Love Story. It's my is capitalized for some reason, or is it love? My or love is capitalized for some reason, but it is really good. It is so cute, so funny. It's worth reading for sure. And the anime of it, I rolled on the floor laughing. It is that funny. Just so good. And it gets you kind of into the... It gets you into the sort of mood or idealism of anime. Kind of. It gets you used to it.
Oh, and if you're looking to get into anime or manga, if you're looking to get into manga, another good way is to look to see which manga have anime.
Yes. So, like, I will always, if there is a manga for an anime I enjoy, read it. Or if there's an anime for a manga I enjoy, watch it. It's kind of and I can see the differences. You sometimes, a lot of the times, especially with ones that are based off light novels like Log Horizon, you get a lot more by reading than watching.
Yeah.
Because they can only fit so much into an episode.
I usually prefer to read the manga, but I love the Black Butler anime.
Is it
except
good?
for the second season.
Isn't it good though?
Yeah.
It
differs from the story a little bit, but I love I love hearing the characters because it's set in England.
Yes.
And I love the Black Butler English dub.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I like so dubs, a lot of people will swear off them, hate them, can't do them, refuse to watch them. I like them. So I like them when they're good.
Yeah.
Orin High School Host Club had a phenomenal dub.
Yeah, I love Orin High School Host Club. I was sad when it ended.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh,
Orin.
Fruits Basket. While the anime ends abruptly, the manga is actually a really good.
Yeah, the
beginner-friendly
manga is good.
Thank you, Embramoto. Very, very good beginner-friendly manga. It's sweet. It's simple. It's got a little bit of craziness that you'd expect from an anime. Or manga, rather, because we're talking about manga this time. The reason I always call it anime is because I watched it first. Plain and simple.
So do you pick whether you call it manga or anime by which form of it you encounter first?
I default to it based on what I did first. So Fairy Tail, I will always probably refer to as an anime first because I watched it first. Cowboy Bebop's another good dub. People are recommending. The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya is a phenomenal dub. It's a really, really weird story though. Like, really odd. I don't know how else to describe it but odd. It's just a thing.
I read.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I read this one manga called Number 6. It has an anime form of it. The endings are like completely different.
Are they really?
They're
That
so
happens
different.
a lot. So, I'm about to make a lot of people really upset right now. Soul Eater, don't bother with it. Soul Eater, the mangaka, or the artist, the manga artist, gave up. He gave up. Pure and simple. The ending of the anime was weak sauce. The ending of the manga was weak sauce, like super weak sauce. And you know what? It's so sad because it started out super good. But at some point, he lost the plot. Just absolutely lost the plot, and it's so disappointing. You know when something starts out really good and just dies?
Yeah.
That's Soul Eater.
Endless 8. Oh,
Yeah,
what's
Endless 8. I actually don't know about Endless 8. I'm going to look it up a little bit real quick. So give me 1 second.
Filler. Yeah, I can't
Endless
really
8.
contribute much to manga. Other than
It is part of the Endless series. It's part of Haruhi Suzumiya. It is like a portion of it. Yep. Now I get it. I understand now. I definitely know about the Endless 8. But yeah, I'm not going to go into it too much because it is super weird still. Haruhi Suzumiya is just... It's good. It's just weird.
Yeah. I feel like that's a very fine line in some cases.
Embramoto points out the opening for Soul Eater is really good. It is. Resonance by TM Revolution, I believe, does. No, is it? No, Resonance is done by somebody else. I can't remember the artist, but Resonance is the name of the song. It is a really good song. Super good song.
Is there a manga for Angel Beats?
There is, and there isn't. Angel Beats, by the way, is phenomenal anime.
I love that anime. I love the intro.
It's bittersweet.
It's so sad.
So there is a manga for Angel Beats. It is not the story of Angel Beats, though. It is before Angel Beats. But the thing is, they released the first volume here in the U.S. And then they stopped.
Why?
Nobody knows. It is on indefinite hiatus. But it is done in Japan. I'm sure you can go to like Manga Panda or something like that and read it. Because
Is it in Japanese?
No, Manga Panda translates.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they have it in Japanese, I'm sure, online. They scan it. Now, I don't really condone scanning and reading things illegally, but like sometimes you have to.
Yeah, if there's not an English version of it,
You gotta. If you
Yeah.
want to read it, you gotta.
I can't just learn a new language to read manga.
Some people do, though.
I can barely handle English. I don't want to try another language.
Japanese would totally trip you up, too, because it is completely different from English.
I heard that Mandarin's the hardest language, though.
I've heard that, too, actually.
Yeah,
Steven, you know how you're dyslexic?
yeah.
Japanese has 3 written languages.
I wanted to use an expletive I can't use on the radio.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you have to know all 3 of them to be able to read it.
Expletive I can't use on the radio.
There you go, buddy. So, yeah. That's... I don't know, we've been talking for about an hour and 20 minutes about how good anime and manga are and why people should watch them. So you get that, people out there? I'm pointing directly at you. For those who can't see, I'm pointing at the camera. Go ahead, give anime and manga a shot. It really is worth it. It is phenomenal. That's it. Oh, we're not done with the episode. Far from it. We got another 40 minutes.
Can we switch to
We can
other
talk
nerdy
about
stuff?
whatever you want, Steven, because I know you've been playing Pokemon Go and you really want to talk about it.
Well,
He's doing good now. He's looking at the chat.
Yeah, I
Okay.
switched to the chat.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And trying to figure out, I know 2 of the people on the chat, which I'm actually happy about.
Oh, yes.
But well, yeah, you can't give me much grief for Pokemon Go.
Yeah, well, I can because it was your fault. But go ahead and tell your stories. Steven.
Wait, what?
So I was playing Pokemon Go earlier, and
Yep.
there was a Dratini.
Context, Steven. I was driving, and I was driving downtown to the local town so that we could go pick up a memory card so that the camera would work properly. And so we're driving along, and Steven is playing Pokemon Go. And then...
I say Dratini. Like,
No, he doesn't just say Dratini. He goes, Dratini! And I'm like, what?
thankfully, there was an open parallel parking spot that you went into.
Yeah, I pulled over, and we go, and we start doing it. Now, I intended this trip to take about 30 minutes. It's about 10-minute drive there, 10-minute drive back. We were gone an hour and 15 minutes.
How?
Well, you see, Steven kept saying, oh, look, over there. There's a this. There's a that. Eventually, it came down to, hey, there's a Lapras over at that Pokestop 3 blocks, 2 miles that way. Oh, look, there's a Hitmonchan 3 miles back the other way. Oh, look, there's a Tangela over there.
We stopped for a Tangela?
Well, I was in the parking lot, so...
Yeah, we were already stopped.
We were already stopped. But, like, he's pointing out all these Pokemon, which aren't common. There is an event going on right now, I think.
Yeah, where
That's
they're...
Kanto Pokemon specifically, so
Yeah.
the rare ones are coming out.
I need to catch a Lapras.
I love my Lapras. We got a lucky one, because I didn't catch my Lapras, because my Lapras ran away.
Rip.
I caught mine and then gave it to Alex for an oddish.
Yep.
And Alex told me that it has a very bad CP.
Yeah, but it's a lucky Pokemon, so it's actually really good stats, just low CP, so it's going to take a lot of candy. And I don't have any Lapras candy, because of course I don't. I've never had a Lapras until now.
My
But I
fault
really-
that you have it, though.
Yeah, well, my goal is to catch all the ice and grass type Pokemon in Pokemon Go, because those are my favorite types.
My goal is to finish each generation, which involves me having to travel to Australia and to Europe.
My
Yeah.
goal is to get more than 50,000 Stardust because I'm really bad at saving up Stardust.
Yeah, I had that, and then I had to power up some stuff. Yeah, apparently
I think
the
I have
Nintendo
like
Direct
600
today-
Stardust at the moment.
I've got about 1,200 because I traded a lot with Steven. I had 61,000 at the beginning of the day. I
My
didn't
bad.
trade that much. I just powered up a bunch of stuff.
I mean, That's a fair use of Stardust.
That's pretty much the only use of Stardust besides trading.
What do you think? Do you like feed it to the Pokemon, or do you sprinkle it onto the
I
Pokemon?
think it's magic fairy dust that makes things happen.
And I think when you transfer Pokemon, the professor crushes them and turns them into candy.
I really don't think he does that. Because that really doesn't fit in the Pokemon world. I think what Stardust is... So in the Pokemon games, you know this, Stephanie, and you might know this, Steven. Stardust is an item you can pick up, and you sell it for money.
Mm-hmm.
What I think Stardust is in Pokemon Go is experience. Because there's no battling system in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
That gives you experience.
I thought they were the equivalent of rare candies.
Well, that's kind of what the Pokemon candy is. So I think that the Stardust is the experience, and the candy is the way to get the Pokemon to eat the experience. Because they,
Oh, so it's like, okay, I get it.
So, like, you sprinkle your Stardust on the candies. That's why it costs more and more and more candy to level them up, because you got to use more Stardust, right?
Mm-hmm.
As it gets higher and higher in CP. So, as you're going along, you pour your Stardust on the candies, you feed it to your Pokemon. They get a happy treat, and they grow in power and stuff. I mean, the stats in Pokemon Go are hugely dumbed down anyway.
Pokemon can, like, if you look at the Pokemon definition, some of them are kind of dark.
The Pokedex, yes, but that's because nobody reads the Pokedex, and they put it in there to see who's paying attention.
I read the Pokédex.
Of course I do. It's really great.
Magikarp.
Magikarp is a waste of a Pokemon, says the Pokédex.
It used to be like the strongest Pokemon there of them all.
Magikarp?
Yes, it did, and then it lost its powers. But it evolves into Gyarados, which is,
The embodiment of rage.
Yes, actually, it is the atrocious Pokemon. Literally the atrocious Pokemon. But anyway.
We digress. Well, what's your favorite video game?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Stephanie.
I know mine.
Oh,
and, like, nobody knows it.
Okay.
It's called To the Moon.
To the Moon.
I feel like nobody's ever heard of it, but I always say if it were a book, it would be the best book I ever read.
Okay, do tell. Tell me more about it.
So basically you play as these two scientists
Yeah.
who their job is to go into people's memories when they're dying and fulfill their dying wish.
That's super cool.
I know, right? And I love it because they it's like telling the story backwards because they're going through the memory.
Oh.
So you already know the ending, like this person is dying. But now you're finding out their whole life.
That's super, super cool.
Yeah. I'll show it to you sometime. But the only thing is, there are sequels, and the sequels take like years to come out.
I'm sure. Well, it's probably a really complicated game to write.
Yeah. The graphics are like old fashioned.
So like 8-bit style, 16-bit style. What are you talking here?
I don't know the difference.
Pixels, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like an overhead view, kind of.
Okay. Top-down view sort of thing?
Sort of. And I don't. It's just my favorite game.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough for me to choose a favorite game. Like,
I mean, I can talk what little I can about mine, but
what is it, Steven?
I have two games. One, Forza Horizon 3.
Well, you're a car guy, so it makes perfect sense.
Car nerd.
Yeah.
And then a non-family friendly game, GTA 5.
Yeah, I never really got into the Grand Theft Auto series, and
I've never played a GTA game, but I've seen people play it.
Senseless violence. I mean, that's really.
I saw a video of someone trying to play it without breaking any laws.
It's hilariously fun to do that.
And then
you can't, because the
was
game is made in such a way that you can't.
A police officer playing the game, trying to not break any laws. I think she broke one, and then the rest of the citizens broke like 9.
That would be funny to watch.
Yeah.
I know this video. I've watched it too. I like really need to get GTA for my computer. I had it for my Xbox 360, then Xbox One, but have yet to buy it for my desktop.
Yeah.
Because
you haven't.
Yeah, I keep on forgetting to find it.
Yep.
Attention deficit. Hey, look, a squirrel.
Pretty much.
How did a squirrel get in the station?
It didn't.
I want to
Okay.
see squirrel. I've only seen one, and the rest of them were dead,
Yeah,
which
it's-
was
that's-
really sad. Like we were driving in the road, and there were like just squirrels on the side of the road, and I was,
You know, I'd say that's surprising, but it's not because they run out into the road.
Squirrels,
But-
nature's little speed bumps.
oh my
God,
god,
Steve, that's awful.
It's a southern saying.
I'm sure it is. Back to the, games. There's one game that I always kind of go to that is, as of yet, my favorite game. And it is also a lesser known game, but it's called Stella Glow. And it was for the 3DS. And it's got a combat system that I really adore. It's got a story that is, again, if this was a book, I would want 25 sequels. Never going to happen because the studio went kind of belly up, sadly. But like, my word, the voice acting is great because they voice acted pretty much all the important scenes. Oh, yes. Such a good game. I played it twice in a row. That's how good it was. Like, I want to do a let's play of this game, but I don't know if anybody would watch it.
I'm currently replaying Frambo.
Okay.
It's an old game, but I mean, I've already beaten it, but I wanted to because the dialogue options change things.
Yep.
Like, not in the main story, but it'll change certain things. And it's one of those games where it's a psychological horror game that is, the art style is very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Don't Starve, the art style, but
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, it's just, I really like games that have a good story and just aren't about like killing people.
Yeah. I think I'm on you must be a fan of JRPGs and stuff.
What?
Japanese role-playing games. That sort of
Yes.
style, yep. Yeah. That's kind of my favorite too. I need a good story. I need a reason to play the game.
Yeah.
I need something good going on. Not just yes, to be fair, like the mindless games are good too. Like when you need something just to do.
Slime Rancher.
Yeah, pretty much. You need something mindless and easy to do.
Yeah.
But like I'm currently playing Octopath Traveler that came out on the Switch. Whew, not only do you get one story, you get 8.
Steven just showed me a Squirtle in Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I have not. I've been playing the game on and off since the start of the
So
show.
what you're saying is right now there's a Squirtle right here in the station.
Yes, there is.
Steven! Now we're all going to pull out our phones. We're going to turn on Pokemon Go.
Let's tell
We're gonna
Alex what
catch
else
the
is
Squirtle
around.
because of course we are.
Steven, what
But
else is
we're-
around?
Alex, it's appropriate. We're nerds in a basement.
Right, but we're also in the middle of a talk show. Like, come on.
At least we're narrating what we're doing.
That's fair. Oh, that's because somebody put a lure.
Yeah.
Steven, did you put a lure?
No, you didn't.
No.
Okay.
It was someone.
I
who-
just want the Squirtle. Like,
Yeah, that's.
Unfortunately, because we're in a basement, like the service isn't phenomenal.
Yeah,
or
I'm not
anything.
even gonna try.
This is such captivating radio. I am using a pineapple berry to increase the candy of my Squirtle.
Have you gotten the silver pineapple berry
I
yet?
have not.
Steven
Silver
just-
pineapple berries are really cool.
Steven
I
This
got-
is making for captivating television. by
Steven
the way.
just got one.
Yeah, I got one and I used it for a Charmander earlier.
There was
Why?
See, that's the kind of thing.
But you were really into the thing that
Yeah.
Why would
manga.
you use it on a Charmander?
Because
you know
I-
it acts as a,
I actually
It
do
acts
need
as
to
a-
use them on Charmanders.
but it acts as a raspberry and a pineapple berry.
Yeah, it does.
I wasn't thinking.
Anyway, focus, folks.
You're asking focus from me, the person that has forgotten very important things. I'm forgetting something right now. I can't remember what it is.
Did you leave the stove on?
No, he didn't.
We
haven't used the stove yet today.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Maybe we
Yeah.
should do a cooking show. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked.
Yeah, that's normal here on Talking Nerdy. Tangents are our middle name.
What were we
And
talking about?
Especially when I'm here.
Well, we were talking about something probably pretty important, but then Steven, I mean, had to say Squirtle.
We were talking about
JRPGs in general.
yeah. I thought we were talking about easy to play video games.
Yeah, easy to play games too. Like the things that you do when you don't need to you don't want to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one I know is Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher is pretty good for that.
I mean, it has a story.
Harvest Moon is another series which is just kind
I can't get into Harvest Moon.
Really? I thought that way too, but my wife absolutely loves Harvest Moon.
I'm pretty.
And the one on the Switch is really good.
I'm pretty into Animal Crossing though.
Animal Crossing is another one of those.
Yeah. I want to get specific villagers. Like I want to get the there's this one villager named Marshall.
Yeah.
He's a sassy white squirrel.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Speaking of mindless, the villagers thing brought up Minecraft. Minecraft is kind of as you can get as intense or like as
I just remember
as mellow as you want with Minecraft. You can turn on peaceful mode, don't worry about mobs, and just build away. That's even creative mode. You can just build away, or you could do survival mode and go for a challenge. But like Minecraft is one of those perfect games that lets you do pretty much whatever you want to do.
I do have this one story about Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Me and my two friends were playing, and they were building their house, and I was building my own house because they wanted to build their house out of wood. Because one of them always builds his house out of wood. We were in creative mode. And I wanted to scare him, so I put a ghast in his house. And then
you didn't just turn it up to 1, you turned it up to 25.
No, I put a ghast in his house, and then my friend saw that I put a ghast in the house. And so he went in survival mode because he wanted to mess with him too. And the gas burned his house down. And he got super salty and quit.
Yeah, gas shoot, fire.
I didn't think he would go into survival mode when he saw the gas, but he decided that messing with this person was more important than preserving their house.
Yeah.
And then they TNT'd my house.
I don't even know what this game is.
Minecraft?
I think someone once showed it to me, and I think it.
Steven, I was literally watching it before. I was watching people from the Hermitcraft server play it before.
Yeah, but I came into the station while you did that and listened to music.
I know, but you've seen me watch it in the past. I watch it frequently. It's the one with the blocks and you build.
Oh, yeah. Now
the block universe. That's not Roblox.
The game that's the worst for triggering my screen motion sickness stuff.
Ooh, yeah, it is pretty bad with that. But
it can be.
What helps is if you go into the third person view. So you're watching a character?
Help.
Oh, it doesn't help.
You can turn off screen bobbing, and I think that might help.
Yeah, but if I feel like I'm gonna vomit after a few seconds of watching a game, I tend to.
I don't think. I've heard that people get motion sickness playing Portal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the one time someone tried to get me to try VR.
Ooh, I already know that's a bad idea for me.
Yeah, no.
I think it should be registered as a torture device, but that's
what people say about my glasses.
VR, I'm of two minds about. I don't see any need for me to do it, but I'm not going to hate on it necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, it's not doing any harm that I know of.
Exactly. So. It's not doing any harm, so.
But I felt bad that I couldn't, I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it, but one person in my family got me a VR set that looked like a panda. I was like, oh, that's so cute. But I can't wear it.
Because of your glasses, right?
Well, it goes over your glasses, but I get major motion sickness.
Yeah, that would be a really bad thing to do then.
Yeah. So it sat in the box forever. But at least I can look at it.
Yeah, it's super cute. You put it on yourself and be like, it's super cute.
It is super cute.
But I can't use it.
Even though pandas are kind of sad in real life.
Yeah, and I mean, I would love VR to work. Well, I would love to be able to do gaming like they do in Sword Art Online. That would be fun.
You want to be trapped in a game?
I don't want to be trapped in a game. I want to be able to leave it, but I want to be able to play it in where you're fully immersed.
Oh, if you could pick any video game world to live in, what would you pick?
Sword Art Online.
Pokemon.
Now that's a tough question. Sword Art Online, no, definitely not. If I was going to choose one of those, I'd choose Log Horizon, because Log Horizon is literally Sword Art Online, but like 20 times better.
Well,
So,
I've never seen that one.
You should watch Log Horizon then. It's really good. They have a dub of it, don't worry. I actually haven't seen the dub of Log Horizon, now that I mention it. But anyway, I agree with you, Stephanie, that Pokemon would be a phenomenal place to live.
Yes.
That'd be so cool.
How many kids are stolen by Pokemon?
No, not in the actual games.
More like in the anime where nobody dies.
Yeah, no, the anime world.
Where nobody ages and nobody dies, and Pokemon are awesome.
Well, Ash doesn't age. Everybody else ages, just not Ash.
Just make friends with Ash.
Yeah, pretty much.
and you won't age.
But you'll be around a lot of Team Rocket explosions.
Oh, but that's fun.
But it's usually them that are exploding.
Yeah, no, they explode themselves. It's cool. They're like the best, worst villains ever.
Team Rocket blasting off again.
They have so a little bit of spoilers, but in the new season, the Alolan version. First of all, Alolan Pokemon Sun and Moon, the anime, so good. Like they've really, really gotten back to what made the Pokemon anime good in the first place. Second of all,
minus the bad dub.
the dub is not bad anymore.
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
minus the bad dub.
Exactly. So, Team Rocket, do you know the Pokemon Beware? It is
Yeah.
like a giant stuffed bear, basically.
Build a bear.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Build a beware.
So, whenever they blast off now, this Beware comes in, grabs them from like either running across the water, flying through the air, grabs them, and books it back towards its house, because it's basically claimed Team Rocket as its like pets, I guess. So it's like, we're blasting off in a new way.
Fun fact: elephants think that people are cute, the same way we think puppies are cute.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the other thing is, so like Team Rocket has blasted off in Sun and Moon anime, but Beware has jumped, grabbed them, and just booked it.
Have you ever seen like how big Pokemon would actually be if they were
Yeah,
in real life?
so-
Like Beedrill is scary.
Yeah. So how big do you think Charizard is, Steven?
Probably about twice my height.
Nope, he's
Nope.
shorter than me.
I'm 5'5", so
Charizard is 5'7".
oh, so a hair taller than me.
Yeah.
But in the anime, they make him look bigger.
Maybe. Ash is only 11 after all.
Oh, that is true.
Actually, Charizard is
Actually,
weighs less than I do too, which is
no,
I
I
guess
would.
that's-
I would still want to be. I was thinking like, would I want to be in a world where bugs are like my size?
The bug Pokemon usually don't get that big.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
but still, I don't want to meet a Pinsir or a Beedrill or a Scolipede.
But you'd have a Pokemon.
Pinsir is 4'11", so yeah.
So if you did live in the Pokemon universe and you could have one Pokemon to help keep you safe, what would the Pokemon be?
Oh, Torterra easily. So actually, out of curiosity, Stephen, how big do you think Gyarados is?
About as big as my car.
21 feet long.
About as big as a medium-sized school bus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What Pokemon would I want to be my partner?
I don't know.
I would
don't
pick
know.
Gyarados then, just because.
Gyarados is the embodiment of rage. I don't know if you
Steven,
could
remember,
control it.
We're now operating on physics, so Gyarados can't actually be like comfortable outside of the water.
Oh.
It can breathe air because everything can breathe everything, except for you can't breathe water, but like water Pokemon can breathe air too.
Oh,
It's cool.
So-
But like, yeah, you can't really use a Gyarados
But-
outside of stuff.
but if I'm looking at the physics for Wailmer, I don't understand. It's like that, or Wailord. That seems a little weird.
I mean, you could have a Wailord, but where would you put it?
So here's the thing. Wailord actually would float in air. They
what?
did this on purpose. Wailord's weight to body size ratio, its density, is actually lighter than air. So it floats.
Yet it can learn Body Slam.
It is called the float whale Pokemon. It is a giant
Balloon.
joke. Wailord is buoyant in air.
I mean,
So yes.
Oh, Ponyta or Rapidash?
It'd be cool
Those
because
would
you
be
could
cool,
have
too.
like a real Wailord balloon.
You'd have to tie your Wailord down.
Yeah.
If we were going with like what the Pokédex actually says in the anime universe, Wailord swims. It's fine. But yeah, I would choose Torterra because it happens to be my favorite Pokemon.
Looks like Embermoto from the chat says
Arcanine.
Yep.
And another person says Oddish, which I like Oddish too. Oddish is pretty cool.
Although that seems quite odd. Sorry.
Yes, you only made that pun 6 times today, Steven. Only once on the stream, so I'll forgive you this time.
Steven, make the pun again.
But I don't want to be punished.
Yeah, hit him. Hit him. Just hit him. I can't reach, Stephanie. You have to hit him. Thank you.
I think I would pick a fire type Pokemon. Like
That's
maybe
fair.
Ninetales. Ooh, the Alolan Ninetales.
Oh, Alolan Ninetales is so pretty. So pretty.
That is, I think, the two most beautiful Pokemon, in my opinion, are Shining
Shining Umbreon?
and Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah. I actually think Dragonair is a very pretty Pokemon.
Dragonair is good, and then they kind of threw away its design with the final evolution.
Yeah, but I like
I
Dragonite. Dragonite is a happy little
I
dragon.
hate shiny Dragonite. I hate shiny Dragonite.
Really?
Snake Pokemon.
It's such a horrendous shade of green.
It kind of is.
Like, they should have just made it pink.
How tall do you think Dragonite is, out of curiosity?
As tall as me?
Steven?
10 foot.
7'3".
Okay.
It's actually big. In the anime, the first time you see Dragonite, it's like 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not actually that big.
I can't read that word. What Embermoto said.
Who?
Milotic.
Oh, Milotic is also gorgeous.
Trying to remember which one that is.
Milotic is
It's the evolved form of Feebas.
Oh.
Yeah, Milotic is actually in universe known as like the prettiest Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to if I'll ever see one of
I
those
like
shinies.
Milotic, but
I think Milotic's actually really good as
it's
a Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's
Especially because it can learn Recover.
Recover's pretty good. It's also
Recover
got
is
pretty
OP.
good stats.
Yeah, it has good defense.
I mean, I've really liked when I got my Seabass to evolve to that in Pokemon Go, although it was the biggest pain in the
And the Tookus, yes.
because I had to walk.
Well, in the Pokemon like DS games, what you had to do was you had to get your Feebas to the highest like beauty point.
They've added an item which you can trade it with, because in some versions they don't have the beauty contests anymore.
Yeah.
But like, not to mention, Feebas can only be found in certain squares in certain maps based on your trainer ID.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know where it
It
is.
reminds me of the Munchlax from Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, the Munchlax in the honey
You with
trees.
the honey trees. Although there's an algorithm for that.
I gave up.
It's also like Heracross in Gold and
Like,
Silver.
I'll
Based
just,
on your trainer ID, there could be potentially 0 Heracross.
Yeah, I'll just use a Luxray. Like, I'm not going through that. I'm sorry. I don't want a Munchlax that bad.
I mean, I do, but Snorlax is also like one of my favorite Pokemon.
Wasn't that your spirit animal?
It is. Snorlax is my spirit animal. I too like to lay around, eat, and sleep.
I mean,
It's pretty good.
What does your shirt say right now?
My shirt, for those who can't see me, it says eat, sleep, anime, repeat,
My shirt says save the chubby unicorns.
which is an amazing shirt. So, as an aside, I meant to tell you this earlier. My wife loves rhinos.
Oh, yeah, there's a
Absolutely.
picture of a rhino on it. Sorry, I didn't say that.
So, she loves rhinos, and this goes back to her Pathfinder character, D&D, based on D&D 3.5, is best. I like Pathfinder the best. Her character has a rhino named Porridge, and she loves that rhino so much. And it is a great rhino. This rhino is like kitted out with more gear than like everybody because it's just, amazing. So she loves rhinos. She has a little rhino necklace that she wears everywhere, and she actually wants that exact shirt. Save the chubby unicorns. So that's my aside, and it was nerdy, and I promise that, yes, it's a great shirt.
Of course, Embermoto and a Facebook group chat sent me a picture of the shiny Milo. It is so beautiful.
I like
Yes.
the regular Milo tick better than the shiny one.
Yep. I can't actually remember.
I do like shiny Ampharos.
Ampharos shiny. Yes, it is pretty cool. Basically, what they do is turn it into Ampharos turns into Flaffy. I think, well, coloration wise.
Yeah. I don't get shiny Plusle. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, the shiny Minun is green.
Yep.
So why didn't they make the shiny Plusle orange?
You know, I don't know. Or even purple. Purple would have worked too. But,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Well,
That's
I would
a
go with
question for
orange
Game
over
Freak.
purple because orange is a warm color.
Right,
And green is
right.
a cool color, and purple is also a cool color.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah, and I think this is also kind of nerdy, but I named my Plusle Minun AC and DC.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, you have some very interesting names for
I have some very interesting names.
Wiggle Wolf the Second.
Yes, Wiggle Woof is my Gyarados. My wife named it, and I am very proud of her for coming up with an amazing name. I now have a second Gyarados. Well, obviously, because it is my second Gyarados, it is Wiggle Woof the Second. I mean, I
Makes
don't
sense.
understand. That's pretty normal, right?
Yeah,
To
it
name
makes
things-
sense.
Yeah. I mean, I also have a Jumpluff named Speepoof.
Yeah.
Yep, it makes sense. I mean, what does a Jumpluff do? Speepoof. It just does things. It's great.
Steven, do you remember the nicknames I gave my Pokemon?
I know you traded me a Slowbro named
Yeah.
which fits. I mean,
I've only ever nicknamed one Pokemon, and I deleted the nickname because it felt too close to reality. I'm not going to repeat the name, but it was a cough. It was a wheezing, and I gave it a name.
uh-huh.
I would probably name it like bronchitis.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah. Well,
I named my Jinx Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of fits.
Oh, I think I traded you that.
You did. What else have I named? I named my Charmander, which is now a Charmeleon, Szechuan, because it's spicy. Spice. My Blastoise is named Blueberry.
Water Bowser.
Yeah, you have a water Bowser.
He has sunglasses.
Yeah, you got one of those super cool ones.
although I think Water Bowser would fit better for the Mega Evolved form of that.
Well,
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to incorporate Mega Evolution in
Pokemon Let's Go, they absolutely are.
Really?
Yeah, in Pokemon Let's Go they are. Let's see. I don't know about Pokemon Go. There's not really a good way to implement it.
Yeah, they would have to have you'd have to be able to give Pokemon items to hold on to.
Yeah, there's not really.
Unless you
a way
had to
for it,
permanently make them Mega Evolve.
which doesn't make sense for Mega Evolutions.
Yeah.
So,
I hate Mega
I'm sure we've
Garchomp.
lost all the people who were saying, what was anime and manga again? They're probably still thinking, wait, when did we get to this? What is Pokemans? And
Well, it is an anime.
That is true.
Is that one of them animus that you all are talking about? Oh God, I sound like my mother.
I mean,
I don't think my mom knows what anime is.
You should enlighten her. Anime is pretty awesome.
I'm trying to imagine how that would go, and I can't imagine a positive scenario for that.
So, my wife and I, trying to be the good nerds that we are, my mother doesn't really understand nerdy things at all. Like, 0% understands them. Doesn't get it. Doesn't seem to want to get it, but, it could be just she's, older and doesn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we wrote out a beautiful list of animes and mangas and things that she could read, and watch and get into things that we thought would be great, including Fairy Tale, which means so much to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think she might have watched half of an episode, so
she
I don't-
tried.
no. No, I don't think she...
She tried to try.
She tried. Maybe.
She tried to try.
She tried just to, to say she did, I guess. I don't know. But, it's almost...
Maybe.
You almost feel bad about it, too, because it's like, I'm trying to share something that's such a huge part of my life with you, and... Yeah, what's going on with that,
I mean, sometimes you just don't share interests with people. Even nerds don't
Yeah.
share all their nerd interests.
Well, right. Nerddom is very diverse, and I like to say we're the most welcoming community and culture out there. You know, it's like
it depends.
I think in general because
Like the people that are in the toxic fandom and contribute to the toxic fandom.
that's their own thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, in general,
yeah.
if you go to a convention as a nerd, everybody's pretty welcome.
Like you would have to seek out the toxic people.
Yes, like-minded people kind of get together, birds of a feather, and all that. So,
I mean, I've kind of am at the point where I'm interested in doing cosplay.
cosplay is so fun, but that's another topic for another episode because we got like 4 minutes.
Of
So,
course.
But anyway, like, the thing is, as a group that has universally been bullied forever, you know? So, you know, we're accepting of those who, like, want to maybe find a place to call their own. So we're basically a bunch of outcasts that got together and said, hey, we all like similar things. Let's get along. And then we didn't. But we do when it comes down to it.
Yeah, it's a good way to like bond with other people.
Yep. You like when people say, oh, they like notice something I'm wearing. Hey, I really like that. Really? That's cool. Do you like this? Oh, yeah, I like that. Boom. Now we're friends.
Yeah, it's just like when you find out that someone has the same favorite anime or the same favorite video game as you, you're like
soulmates.
Yeah.
Or they play Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, yeah, card games are a good way to bond too. I mean, not like I hate to say it, but Magic the Gathering, like super toxic.
Oh yeah. I am
like
bringing.
some of the other,
my,
I mean,
my mom is bringing
Yu-Gi-Oh
my
can get pretty toxic too sometimes. But like in general, like if you find a group of people who you enjoy hanging out with and they like watching anime and stuff, there's always back and forth. There's always ideas being shared. So like, there's always at least something to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I can talk about anime for hours at a time.
As we have.
Pretty much, yeah. But like even more than this, if I get into a good discussion with somebody, it could be 4 or 5 hours before I realize,
Well,
oh yeah.
when we show Steve in the Studio Ghibli movies.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love talking about it.
Totoro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you won't be able to shut me up.
Are there? Well, we'll have to find them in the dub though.
Oh, he's gonna love the Cat Bus.
Oh, he's gonna love Cat Bus. Everybody should love Cat Bus though.
Yeah.
You know Cat Bus is a guy, is a male.
I think I read that.
You can see it. There is a specific scene where you know Cat Bus a dude. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, it's about that time, sadly, to wrap up this episode. I know, it's pretty heartbreaking, don't you think?
Yeah.
But thank you all so much for listening. This has been a very great episode of Talking Nerdy. And if you really liked it, if you're watching on YouTube, you know, hit that thumbs up button to help out the channel a little bit. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, totally hit that subscribe button. If you are listening on WLMC Landmark College Radio, thank you so much for showing your support. Check us out by going to landmark.edu/WLMC. You'll find out a bit more about not just WLMC, but all the other great things here on Landmark's campus. And if you are watching on BCTV, thank you so much. Please continue to support your local community television. It is awesome. And check out all the other things I already mentioned. And that goes for everybody else. Like, if you are watching, listening, whatever it is, check out BCTV, check out WLMC, check out the Frost Raven YouTube channel. It means the world to us. And we want to make sure that the message gets across that, you know, we're trying to build a community here. And I think that's important. But anyway, I've waffled on enough. And so, have a wonderful night, everybody, and we hope to see you next week again here, same time, same place. But for now, here's some more music just to, you know, play us out.